From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LALATE, with yesterday's data coming in on unemployment surging out of control from 180,000 all the way up to the new jobless claims of 251,000. It followed a week in which the housing data was also poor. Monday miss, Tuesday miss, Wednesday miss on that housing front. With unemployment surging out of control, what do you need to know? Well, the corporate earnings released today were not much better, and that's why you have to get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. You got to get that forced stimulus check, and later in the quarter, we're going to go over that incredible sums of money passed by the President of the United States in the month of March, and it's in every U.S. state. How much? About $100,000. We're going to go over all this incredible sums of money later in this recording. Plus, why your benefits are going up so much. They're going up a lot because of inflation. Yes, approximately $5,000. We'll go over that money later in this recording. A lot of money, plus we'll be turning to the incredible Build Back Better Act. If this is you, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, and Veterans benefits as well. But we start today, of course, with the breaking news story today, which is recession in the corporate front. Businesses will lay off employees if their corporate earnings are not good, and they weren't today at all. With Snap and Twitter really taking a major hit. We'll look at the corporate recession of earnings, today's latest numbers. Bad news across the front. But we have a lot of big money for you in today's recording. We'll go over that $100,000 every U.S. state. It's for you. We'll be going over that raise of your benefits. It's happening with that inflation not settled down. We'll be looking at the Build Back Better Act and the latest details today. Breaking news on that bird bath. Is it nice and moisturizing? That bird bath is really delicious. It's not just for birds. It's also for senators. We'll go over the latest on the bird bath updates today as well. Plus, for the first time ever, we're going to look into Check C in more detail in the second half. Second half, stay to the very end. We're going to go over all these incredible checks. You deserve them. Remember, three things we're looking at. We're looking at inflation that impacts your benefits and how much they go up. Recession that impacts your stimulus and the stimulus stampede, and also your money. We're going to go over all those incredible checks later in this recording. Become a member. Stay to the very end. We'll go over all these incredible checks as Afternoons gets underway for a beautiful July 22nd, 2022, from the shores of Santa Monica, California, starting right now. And good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. It is gorgeous here along the coast. A little bit dark, actually, and a little bit cool this morning. The week started with a very bad housing data. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday missing across the board. Last week had the insurging inflationary numbers. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday as well. And this week we've been looking at the impact on corporate earnings with those unemployment numbers surging out of control. And how much? 251,000 unemployment claims yesterday. But that indication manifests itself even more in the breaking news minutes ago. Minutes ago, the company that started this downward spiral in the month of May, if you remember, this was the first corporation that announced the pressures of this recession on its bottom line, today came back with the earnings numbers. The company is called Snap. It's a technology company that is a social media giant. And it first signaled the problems of this economy on its business back in the month of May. It was before Walmart, it was before Target, it was before all this bad news came out. And this is the one that got it all rolling. Today, it reported corporate earnings on a day in which Twitter did as well. Boy, folks, it was not good at all. The stock was down 30%. Again today, it's now down 75% of its value this year. Snap missed on high and bottom. High is the rev, you knew. The bottom is the profit. On the revenue, it was expected to post earnings of 14 cents a share. What did it post? A loss of 8 cents a share. That's a major miss. Miss is when it doesn't hit the benchmark of what Wall Street is expecting. Let's look at the bottom. Excuse me, that was at the bottom. On the revenue, they were proposing on the top line 1.18 billion, and they posted 1.18 billion when they're expected to post 1.32. So it was a miss on the top, a miss on the bottom. To make it even worse, and I just gave you Twitter numbers. Yeah, so that was Twitter numbers. Can we just replay the video? That was Twitter numbers. Snap was not even better. Let's go to Snap numbers. Snap numbers. I'm getting out of myself today. It's just one of those days. You need a little bit more bacon. On the Snap numbers, they were not a snap better at all. On the revenue side, they were a miss. 1.1 billion versus 1.14 billion. It looks like exactly the same number, doesn't it? It really does. On the earnings side, they were a loss of 2 cents when they're expected to be a loss of 1 cent. So different company, same numbers, same situation. The only difference when we look at Snap was that there was a conference call today with Evan Spiegel here in Los Angeles, and he apparently did not conduct the conference call well because he did not give guidance. JP Morgan said clearly with Q2 2 results, and the way the call was handled, Snap had an even bigger hill to go climbing forward. So they have now reduced expectations on that company to a broadly negative. Goldman Sachs is the downgrade. Oh boy, what does this mean for you? If earnings at a business are down, then they're going to lay off people because they got to cut costs. The first thing they cut costs is laying off people. And if they lay off people, then what happens? Those people laid off go to find another job, and there is no other job because businesses are closing left and right. And that's what happened in yesterday's numbers. See how I lined that up? It snowballs. Unemployment surged out of control in the last 40 days. It was 180,000. Now, 60 days later, it's 251,000 jobless claims. It had been at it had been 180. Then it went to 200. I projected it was going to go to 230. And it did for 4 consecutive weeks, 230, 230, 235. Last week, 244. And yesterday, 251,000. Why is it so significant? Because this was the changing narrative of this economy. For several weeks, Wall Street analysts continue to say the labor market's strong, and it's not strong. And I said it's going to go to 250 last weekend. I was right. I also said that with the numbers going higher, they got to go over 250 until Wall Street finally says labor is not good. Well, when it reached 250 yesterday, they finally said labor's not good. This is what's going to happen when companies like Snap and Twitter report incredibly disappointing earnings. And that is why you need to get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. You need to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state because guess what? The corporate earnings are going to lay off people. And when they lay off people, they're going to start to look for that stimulus. And that's why you got to get the money right now before the stimulus stampede starts. Those incredible sums of money are huge. Let's look at them right now. It's approximately $100,000 in every U.S. state done by executive action from Joseph Biden in the month of March. It's federal stimulus, lots and lots and lots of checks. We're going to go over all those incredible checks later in this recording. Who's going to be asking for these checks? The people who are laid off. Why? Because when they're laid off, they think that 2020 unemployment stimulus is still around. It's not, and that's why you have to get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Go right in this video and become a member. Join this channel, as the hundreds do daily, to get that incredible newsletter that everyone's talking about nationwide. This, my friends, is LATE, America's #3 most watched financial news channel, America, expanding to #2. And you've seen the changes coming to this channel very quickly. First, in the next 14 days, you're going to see the launch of 2 new channels, LA2 and LA3. You've seen the relaunch of the 20-plus-year-old LATE website. Yes, this company's been in business for more than just a blink of an eye, and is now featuring on the latest details on your money. Plus, you've seen the live stream show go from a 7-hour show to a 24/7. We're going to go over all these incredible checks later in this recording, and for the first time ever, we're going to go into Check C more detailed than ever before. Let's go back into why the numbers today on that unemployment is a continuation of yesterday's story. Yesterday's story showed that people are getting unemployed. Why are they getting unemployed? Because of the earnings recession. What is the earnings recession? It means the companies that we thought were once really robust on revenue and net profits are taking a hit. And when they take a hit, they're not going to close the doors. They're going to cut their costs. The way they cut their costs is they lay people off. Snap was the first to announce that back in the month of May. And here you go. The horrible numbers today for Snap, horrible numbers from Twitter. I'll feature them more tonight on Evenings LA. Let's look at the other earnings we learned today. Were they good or were they bad? It was a mixed bag, actually. American Express beat on top and bottom. Really fascinating. Verizon missed on top and bottom. Schlumberger beat on top and bottom. And then the healthcare companies did really well today. Really surprising. United Health, HCA Healthcare surged nearly 12% in pre-market trading. Beat on top and bottom. And that was a common narrative we had today. Here's Tenet Health, just sort of a random company. It doubled. It beat estimates by double the money. Incredible. That's why it was up 11% in pre-market trading. See what's going on here? It's a very, very in a very, very fluid market where the recession is not manifesting itself at the same time. Here's what you also need to know. Inflation. That inflation is big news because if inflation tracks where it is right now for another 3 more months, your benefits are going up a lot. First, let's go over what's going on for your benefits. Then we'll go over the analysis of what's happening with those inflationary numbers across the board. Your benefits, this is you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Rural benefits are looking for 3 months, are going up a lot. What's at issue? About $5,000. We're going to go over more about this money in a second. They're going up a lot because inflation has not tracked down. That inflation data released last week, we're going to go over in 1 second. It's for you. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, veterans benefits. You need this big sums of money. We're going to go over all this incredible lift of your benefits. It's dependent upon 3 months. First, let's start with what happened. Last week, it started with that CPI, the Consumer Price Index number released last week, when it surged out of control. Higher than initially expected. That out of control CPI was not good at all. That CPI was the latest concerns on what's going on with this economy. 9.1% higher than expected, out of control, when Wall Street expected an 8.8 read and the prior month was 8.6. But this is great news for your benefits. Let's go over what happened on that narrative last week. It started, of course, with the CPI we just went over on Wednesday. That number surging from 8.6 in the month of May to 9.1 in the month of June. It continued on Thursday. On Thursday, the Producer Price Index number was released. This is a sister or brother to the CPI, but it's for wholesalers, not for the consumers. And that number was really bad as well. It surged to 11.3% year to date for the month of June, near the record of 11.6 posted in March. It didn't show signs of easing. On Thursday, the narrative continued as well. That narrative continued on Thursday with the retail sales. Higher than expected once again, rose 1%, better than the 0.9 estimate. It didn't mean that you bought more products in the market. It meant that the one product you bought in the last 30 days has gone up so much more money, and it's cost you a lot more money. So let's recap. Those numbers continue to track higher across the board. On Wednesday, the CPI went higher. On Thursday, the PPI went higher. And on Friday, the retail sales went higher. So how does this impact your benefits? Your benefits are going to go up a lot. Let's go over that graphic again. They're going up a lot because inflation has not settled down. It has not peaked. Your benefits are likely to go up about $5,000 depending on the person. We'll go over the calculation in just a second. And this is you. SSI, SSDI, SSA, Social Security, Railroad benefits, veteran benefits, and more. All right, let's go over the calculation and those months at issue. There you see the graphic. July, August, September. Your benefits are determined based upon a benchmark, and that benchmark is called COLA, C-O-L-A. It's, in turn, determined by another number. It's called CPI-W. Yes, it's a subsection of the CPI, which we just went over. 3 months, the July, August, and September CPI determines how much your benefits are going up, because that determines COLA for the year. Those 3 months of the CPI-W determine COLA. So what's going on? We need to watch this month, July, August and September. The data is released 30 days thereafter. And if that CPI stays where it is right now or higher, your benefits are going up a lot. You. And then the same percentage? Absolutely. Automatic? Absolutely. You don't have to do anything. Everyone get the same lift across the board. Finally, $5,000. It depends on how much benefits you currently get, but that's the average for a lot of viewers of this channel. Now, will this CPI continue to track higher? Here's my analysis and my projections based upon what's going on. CPI is determined by two numbers predominantly: supply chain disruption, which is price of goods in the stores, and gasoline. First, we do see some easing of supply chain disruption, but not significant. I want to make this very clear because I have been telling you in the last 10 days, I was going to say 7 days, but it's a little bit longer than that, 10 days, we've had a lot of analysts talk about some supply chain disruption improvement, but they don't say it's gone. So I want to make this very clear. Number two, gasoline. Has gasoline been resolved? Not really. Gasoline has come down, but that is not long felt. The reason why gasoline's down is because of oil traders are trading down gasoline based upon the belief that we're in a recession. And they think that demand for buying gasoline may ease if people are unemployed. So it's not a long felt situation. Finally, the Federal Reserve can impact this as well. No. Federal Reserve's had that FOMC meeting just a few days from now. They do 75 or 100 basis points. They're not getting inflation down. So we're looking really good. Those benefit lifts absolutely incredible. Now, let me go into something else that's very fascinating, which broke just minutes ago. One viewer sent me the beautiful message. It is the treaty, I guess the correct word is treaty, between Russia and Ukraine. It was announced minutes ago, and yes, it's about one of the stories we have featured on this channel many, many months, since the month of March when Putin invaded Ukraine. It is, of course, the story on wheat. There's agreement that has now been signed minutes ago that says that the two countries will agree for the safe export of wheat from Ukraine. Remember, Ukraine is the bread belt of the region. That's why we featured so much coverage of wheat on this channel since the invasion of Ukraine. It's been in the newsletter every night. That wheat prices have surged out of control because they cannot export it from the Black Sea. This is the Black Sea, that great area of the entire region. There was worries that other neighboring countries that are fed from that bread belt would go into famine. This is big news for you. Why? Because commodity inflation like wheat and corn is causing inflation back at home. Because the Ukraine wheat is not available, that commodity inflation has risen prices up. So, is this going to bring down your benefits? Let me give you my analysis. It's not going to be solved that quickly. How quickly could this solve this bread belt issue of exporting from Ukraine? Maybe 60 days out. So is it going to manifest itself in the number that impacts you, that CPI desk stuff, but in the next 90 days, next 3 months? No, it's not enough. It's not that fast an export situation. So I don't think so, unless the traders trade down the price of wheat based upon the expectation of what it's going to do. So no, not at all. This, my friends, is why you have to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. You got to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state because guess what? The unemployment's surging out of control. The inflation's surging out of control. The recession is fully underway. And that recession manifests itself in the latest numbers from the Atlanta Fed GDP now 2 weeks ago that confirmed 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth, which qualifies a recession. That's why you got to get these forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. And we're going to go over all those incredible forced stimulus checks starting right now. These incredible checks are huge, and you deserve them. You get them. Let's go over an overview of them right this very moment. These forced stimulus checks became law in the month of March by executive action of Joseph Biden. They're huge. They're federal stimulus. They're not state stimulus, and they're absolutely incredible. How much are they? Well, they're approximately $100,000 done by Biden in March, now in every U.S. state. They're absolutely incredible. You deserve this money. Why would you not get it? A stimulus stampede is certainly going to happen. And it's about $100,000. First, federal stimulus? Absolutely. Government? Yes, not just states. States aren't paying for it. States aren't sending it out. series of executive actions in the month of March, and these incredible checks now law. Viewers have been getting it for several months on this channel. They've been getting it since the day it became a law, because immediately I featured in the membership newsletter. You qualify. Single individual, 75,000 less. Married couple, 150,000 less. Rent or own on benefits, SSI or SSDI. Children without children, get a membership. Go on in this video and become a member. Stay the second half as we go over the incredible items of these checks in that membership newsletter. Go right on this video right now and join the channel. And join the channel that is changing the broadcast history for financial news. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over that membership newsletter. We're going to go over those incredible checks featured in the membership newsletter. We're going to go over the delivery of the membership newsletter. But right now, we're going to go over one of the big hits of that membership newsletter, the LALATE worksheets. Yes, the LALATE worksheets is a series of pages in the membership newsletter, totally free for you if you're a member, and they are the real talk of the town. Why? Because they are so helpful. Let's go over those incredible membership newsletters, that membership worksheets right now. It's a series of pages in what's called a PDF. A PDF is a combination, in this case, of 8 pages. It's the third or fourth line of the newsletter. You go down, you click the link, you open it up, and you print it from your phone or your computer. And if you don't have a printer, you can take notes on a separate piece of paper. The first page is about the economy. What do we learn today about the economy? Number 1, inflation. Inflation has not tracked lower. CPI, PPI, and also retail sales. What do we also learn about recession? Earnings recession, folks, not good. Earnings recession causing Snap and Twitter, the social media giants, to tumble dramatically today. Labor, a continuation of the Snap and Twitter story. Massive layoffs are coming because they cannot keep their net profits above water. And that labor numbers were released yesterday. 251,000 new jobless claims, the worst number since November 2022. Federal Reserve, meaning about a few days from now, what do we learn about them? 75 or 100 basis point increase. All right, yesterday, we had one viewer whose use of page 2 is so important. Page 2 is a wonderful table created by me for you as a member. And this incredible table has a place for you to keep track of all those incredible checks, A, B, and C. It's a long table because there's a lot of checks. One viewer had forgotten to take a look at her table in a few weeks because in the month of May, she applied for check B. She hadn't looked to remind herself that she had applied. And she got an email 2 days ago. She sent me the private message. She said, LALATE, I opened the email. It was check B I had applied for. I'm in Florida. And guess what? I got approved. I said, how much? She said, 18 months of multiple checks per month. Yes, that's about 3 or 4 checks a month, 18 months of it. Yes, that's about, let's do the math. That's about 50 to 60 checks she got by becoming a member of this channel. She got her mortgage paid for 18 months. Folks, that's a lot of money. 18 months of your mortgage. I mean, that's just an insane amount of money because most people's mortgage is not 12 cents. It's a lot of money. 18 months of mortgage. Then she got multiple utilities per month. That's not $100, folks. That is an enormous sum of money. And that was all on her incredible table. Now, what is the reason I also use her for the example of the table? Actually, it's this page. Is because my message to her is, go get more money. Are you kidding, LA? No, I'm not kidding. That's what I say. Because guess what? Let's say she got from check B, from this wonderful payout she got 2 days ago. Let's say she got the water bill from July, August, September. Well, my message was, go get the water bill from January to July. Get someone else to pay the water bill for those other months. That's how you do it. The next page is Fifth Stimulus in those LA worksheets. What do we learn about that today? We're watching that CPI-W, and your benefits will likely go up about $5,000 approximately, but everyone had the same percentage. We're watching the price of gasoline, which ironically is the next page. What do we learn about that? I'll have more about this tonight on evenings, but this is really what happened. Pete Buttigieg, your transportation secretary, appeared on broadcast media yesterday, and he basically said, hey, the White House's policy on gasoline is working. The White House has no policy on gasoline. Releasing 1 million barrels of gasoline per day from the strategic reserves is not a policy. It hasn't worked, hasn't done anything. The reason why price of gasoline has gone down, we already went over. The oil traders, they're trading it down based upon the belief you won't drive the car if you're in a recession as much, potentially because you're unemployed. And finally, the last page, student loan debt forgiveness. One viewer had a beautiful kind message 2 days ago on Facebook to me, private message. She said, Is it autumn? Is it guaranteed? No. It has a hard deadline? No. The president has to get something done by October. Either he decides it or he rolls it over. He can roll it over. He's already forgiven student loan debts for individuals who became disabled after graduation. People went to work in the nonprofit or public sector after graduation, and people who became disabled, this would be $10,000 for individuals who make $150,000 or less across the board. You know why you have to get a forced stimulus check as well? Here's breaking news for July 22nd as well. A new report released today, released as a joint survey along with Bankrate of about 1,000 people surveyed between the month of the days of June 3rd to June 5th, says nearly a quarter of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Because why? They're spending they're spending money like it's water. 23% say they have no emergency savings. They have no emergency savings. 28% say they have not enough savings saved up to cover 3 months of expenses. 22% said that their expenses would run out about their savings would run out about 5 months to cover expenses, and then 27% said they have a little bit to save over 6 months. It's a continuing narrative where Americans are spending money like it's water, thinking that the federal government has that stimulus from 2020 around. It's been a topic on this channel where I say very clearly that I believe that Americans think that all the stimulus of 2020 is still there. If they get in trouble, it's not. With 151,000 new jobless claims, 251,000 new jobless claims yesterday, those people in about 7 days from now are going to have a rude awakening when they get that check. And they look at it and they say, what is this small amount of money? It's UI. It's the UI of 1990s is back. Gone is the $600 a week that goes on top of it from FPUC. Gone is the extra weeks of benefits from PUC. Gone is any check if you're an independent contractor, because PUA is gone. That's why they're going to be here and getting a stimulus check in just a few days from now. That's why you have to get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. And the second half of this video, we're going to go over these incredible checks. That's why Purple Hawks are winning. That's why you become a member. That's why the viewership of this channel has gotten $15 million in the last 2 years. And that's why the average view of this channel has gotten, on Check C alone, about $45,000. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over all these incredible checks. Go under this video and become a member. Become a member and get those incredible checks, which we're going to go over one at a time in the second half. Join this channel under the video, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. And I'll see you back in the second half. Plus, we'll have a brand new feature in today's recording about Check C. We'll be analyzing Check C a little bit more in detail than ever before. All that incredible news coming up in the second half for July 22nd. See you back shortly. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on a beautiful July 22nd from the shores of Santa Monica, California. It's distinctly cooler today. I bet you can tell it in the lighting today on set. Have you become a member? Go on this video, become a member. Join the channel. Join the videos, join the channel where people are making big strides for their family. Get that incredible membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to go over all those incredible checks starting right now. First, let's go over broadly these checks. Back in the month of March, viewers said, "Hello, can you find me a check? Can you find me a check? Because I hadn't done that Build Back Better Act." Immediately within 24 hours, I found those checks, featured them immediately in the membership newsletter, and viewers quickly started getting them that night. They've been getting them ever since, and these checks are huge. Let's go over all these incredible checks starting right now. First, it's a big sum of money. It's a lot of different checks amounting to about $100,000. Number two, done by executive action for Joseph Biden, and you qualify. Single individual, $75,000 less. Married couple, $150,000 less. If you rent, if you own, if you have children, if you don't have children, if you're on benefits, not on benefits. I was focused on two things: to make sure that the checks were big, because I need to make sure you get through this recession. And number two, to make sure you qualify. And finally, to number three, to make it easy for you to go get that money. And how is it done? That's done with the membership newsletter. Let's go over all these incredible checks, starting with check A, then B, then check C. It's a lettering system I give them on this channel. And that very first check is right out the door, a big check. $6,500 to $12,000 for a stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or railroad benefits, go get it as well. How do you get it? You know the routine. Step one, join the channel. Go under the video, join the channel. Become a member, get that incredible membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go down that membership newsletter, you find check A. There it is. Click the link. It sends you into the nationwide website. Choose your state, and you pounce with the weatherizing grand check. Incredible, great news, but you're not going to stop there yet. You're going to go get check B, $15,000 to $80,000 for stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. And if you're on benefits, go get it as well. How do you get it? Become a member. Join the channel. Subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to always subscribe. Then watch for that membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go down till you find check B. There it is. And click the link. It sends you into the nationwide website and pounce. Look how well we've done. That's $100,000 right there. 80 plus 12,000 approximately. Boy, we're not stopping there yet. We're going to go get check C. Check C is a series of checks that have been paying these viewers of this channel for a very long time. It's the residue of third stimulus. We were doing even before third stimulus. And viewers are averaging about $45,000. A lot have gotten $2,000 a month over 12 months. And yes, many have gotten over $150,000. How do you get this wonderful check C? Go into the membership newsletter. Become a member. Join the channel. Then get that membership newsletter Monday through Friday. Go down to you find check C. It tells you where to call, who to speak to, and what to say. Let's look at the success stories for check C. Here are some of them. We've had countless success stories over the duration of the history of this channel that launched on March 25th, 2020. Let's look at some of the success stories starting right now. Do you want these numbers for rent? Well, then go get check C. Look at these numbers from Nisi to Nancy to Elizabeth. And then what about utilities? Mark got this sum of money for utilities, but his brother-in-law got $15,000. Go get check C's. Snap. The same brother-in-law is getting $250,000 over 10 years. Combinations of checks, especially using lots of different check C's. Nisi went from $23,000 to $50,000. Mark went from $32,000 to $166,000. You heard me right. And Lorraine went from $105 to $150. What happened? Well, here's Mark at $32. He then went to this, 50, then he went to 100, then he got check B, and we went to 166. Here's Lorraine, she was at 105, and then she went to 150. What's the commonality of those viewers? Lorraine, Nisi, Margaret, Johnny. They watch all the videos. You need to know exactly where this economy is going. They're always sending me messages. Hey, I read this article that maybe the benefits will go up 11%, maybe it's 12%. Did you see about the agreement on the wheat with Ukraine and Russia, because that'll ease inflation? They're right in tune with everything that's happening. You need to know where this economy is, where it's going, and get as much money. That's why you need to watch all the videos throughout the day. That's what they're doing. Number two, they're applying for checks all the time. You get off the video, you give yourself some time to pick up the phone and get some additional checks. They're getting checks every few days, even after they got the money. You saw that video, or you saw earlier in the video where I said the viewer got 18 months of checks. I'm immediately saying to her, go get other checks. That's what you do. Let's recap. Step one, subscribe to this channel. Go right in this video and hit the subscribe. This is LALATE, America's #3 most watched financial news channel, expanding to number 2. 2 new channels joining this family within the next 14 days. It's LALATE 2 and LALATE 3. On LALATE 2, you'll have stimulus 24/7 and humor taped as well. Then on LALATE 3, you're going to have the economy 24/7 and then wonderful, delicious cooking shows. Meantime, have you watched the new LALATE Live? It expanded for 7 hours of programming to now 24/7. It's the hit of this channel. And the relaunch of LALATE.com. First launched in 1997, it's back with a vengeance and now featuring all the breaking news on your money daily. Jump on that website for the latest breaking news on your money. Subscribe to this channel. Number 2, go under this video and become a member. Become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcito VIP. Sign up for this membership. Number 3, hit that bell on the front of this channel so that you have alerts set to all on. Make sure your phone remains signed in. Do the same for LALATE 2 and LALATE 3, which you should subscribe to as well to get ready for their launches. And finally, get that incredible membership newsletter. Let's go through that membership newsletter together as a family right now. That membership newsletter is so simple. It's delivered Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the YouTube alerts. Know your time zone and adjust accordingly. 7 p.m. on the West Coast, that's 9 o'clock Central. Know your time zone. Via the YouTube alerts. This is the YouTube alert. It's by email. In that case, go down the alert till you find that incredible button that says View Post. Click the button. It sends you right into the membership newsletter, and you're ready to rock and roll. There's the newsletter, baby. Go get that money. You deserve it. Don't wait. You pounce. You are done. There it is, and go get those incredible sums of money. That is how you do it as a member. You want to see it again? Let's do it again. First, remember your time zone. So if you're West Coast, it's 7. If you're East Coast, it's 10. If you're Central, it may be 9. Sent via the YouTube alerts. This is an alert sent from email. See, it's from YouTube. It says New LA Post. Go down the alert. It says for membership newsletter today. Pass the guy on the surfboard to it where it says View Post. Click that button to send you right into the membership newsletter. So simple. And get that money. You're ready to rock and roll. How easy can that be? It really is so straightforward. And that is the benefit of becoming a member. Get these incredible sums of money right today. The Build Back Better Act has some breaking news today as well. The Build Back Better Act and the May it works is still at issue. And over those last few days, we've been talking about Manchin's call for the vote. Yes, he wants the vote this month. Yes, but he wants it as 2 different bills. And I said the Senate parliamentarian is reviewing part 1. What's going on? A lot to go over and very, very fluid situation. The Build Back Better Act, when passed by the House, sent to the Senate, was a $3 trillion bill. Then in the Senate, over the last few months, as detailed on this channel, Joe Manchin and Chuck Schumer have been negotiating solely the provisions of the bill. They have never publicly agreed to what the price tag of the whole bill would be. Republicans said it was only 1 or 1.5. We don't know that's true because it was never confirmed by these 2 negotiators. But they did confirm the following. 2 weeks ago, they confirmed the negotiations had gone really well. And they announced that they had an agreement on prescription medication to go in there, cheaper prescription medication to go in there. That was 2 weeks ago. This week, Joe Manchin said, hey, there's 2 opportunities. Send what Chuck and I have done off to a vote and get that mailed out and that money sent out today in July, or hold up and come back in September and do the other part of the bill that we have not agreed upon, climate. Basically, what it procedurally at issue is the following. Manchin sees 2 parts of the bill, the part that's done now and the part that's not done now. Does Chuck Schumer have a lot of recon saved up? He has a lot of recon saved up, more than 2. So Chuck Schumer can certainly do a recon now and do another recon in September. Do I like the idea? I love the idea. Which things would be in which bill and what are the things. We really don't know the fate of that. But we do know that the idea from Joe Manchin, Chuck Schumer, was to send off what they have now added to the recon, the cheaper prescription medication, to the Senate parliamentarian for her to okay it. At the time of this broadcast recorded early in the day, the parliamentarian has not ruled. I think it could come by the time this broadcast airs. The Senate parliamentarian is doing what's called the bird bath. She's already done the bird bath with the rest of the Build Back Better Act because she's been working on it for as long as you and I have been working on it. And that this provision, which is the prescription medication, is getting the bird bath again, which is basically to see if it can go by recon. Here's an update. The Democrats, since I think it's maybe the middle of the week, removed one provision, a $35 a month cap on insulin copays, which they thought absolutely would not pass with the parliamentarian. So, and I want to make this very clear to you because I know this could be sounding confusing, that provision has been removed to make sure the recon passes the bird bath with the Senate parliamentarian. Follow me so far? Yeah. Then that provision, the $35 a month on insulin, is getting its own bipartisan bill. So I don't want you to get confused. I don't want you to think that's the recon. I don't want you to think that's the only, package we're going to see. That's a separate bipartisan piece of legislation. It's being done by Toomey, Barrasso, Daines, Portman, Sassy, and others, including Wyden and Crapo. That's the senator's actual real name. And Wyden has some comments about that as well, featured tonight on News LA. Back to part two of the recon. So Manchin wants the remainder of the recon sent off for September. I like the idea. We'll be watching later today by evenings if we do have the update from the parliamentarian about the bird bath. Next, let's go back into forced stimulus with those incredible checks we just went over. Check A, Check B, and Check C. I want to go into something more in detail with Check C, which we've never done before. And it's a learning experience based upon something that happened yesterday in one of the live chats. Let's go over this incredible Check C. Remember, Check C is a series of different checks for rent, utilities, mortgages, and more that has been around on this channel for a very, very long time. It was originally the residue of coming off of first stimulus. I got it for viewers in late December. Then, after they started getting it, then it got into third stimulus. And third stimulus gave a lot more money to it. That additional more money into it then actually had more money than we ever thought. The money still remained to this day left over and still not used. All right, so let me go into Check C in more detail right today with a learning experience. How many checks is Check C per person? If you think about it, Check C could be over 50 checks. Let's go over the equation right now. First, let's just call the way you live either rent or mortgage. So rent or mortgage, which is called rent. So if you're a mortgage person, let's just call it rent for now. You have the rent. You definitely have a water bill. You have an electric bill. You gotta have something to heat the home. So maybe it's heating or heating oil. You may have two of them. A lot of people have two of them. You have gas and you may have something else. You'll have a telephone bill potentially, or potentially another one. So you may have about 4 to 5 bills every month you have to pay. Okay, so far you follow me? Yeah. Let's go over how many places you have that can pay those, let's say it's 5 bills per month. Well, in the membership newsletter, you have the government agencies. That's 6 of them. And then you have the nonprofits, which I think is about 6 or 7 nonprofits. So that's 12 plus places. Let's just say 12 because it's an easy number for me because I'm doing this math at the top of my head right now with you. 12 places to pay for 5 checks per month. That's per month. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? 5 times 12 in 1 month is 60 possible different checks. Yeah, 60 different possible checks. Then you got a lot of months. So if you do this over 3 months, 60 times 3 is 180 checks. If you do this over 12 months, 60 times 6, yeah, 60 times 12 is, well, that's a lot of checks. it's a lot of checks. Why is this so important to the learning experience? It's important to learning experience because what happened yesterday. During the live feed, during the live show that aired during the middle of the day, someone jumped in the live feed and wrote the following. In referring to either, I think it was check B, he wrote the following comment in the live check. Check B is only for the West Coast states. Excuse me? That's ridiculous. That's like the Easter Bunny is running for president of the United States. It's ridiculous. Where did you get that nonsense from? It's so wrong. It's just like laughable wrong. It's like it's like Sasquatch was previously the governor of California. It's just like ridiculous. Now let me tell you why I'm bringing this up. People saw the comment. The comment was sitting there in the live chat. I was recording. I got a lot of shows to give you. And I was recording. I didn't see the comment. It sat there and people saw that comment. The chat was silent. The chat was still. Because at that point, people saw that horrifically wrong comment. Don't post that comment. Let me go to the next type of thing that happened. This morning, before sunrise, someone posted in the live chat the following thing. There is no check in Chicago. Just no check. Like nothing. Like Chicago, you got the Chicago. If you're Chicago, you got nothing. You got not a single check. Now, I just went over with you, what was that? 80 checks, 90 checks? I don't know, 120 checks. And the person says that there's not a single check in Chicago. Okay, let me tell you what happens when you do that. When you do that, which is a track violation on this channel, you're being thrown off the channel. When you do that, a person who has just found this channel, that's trying to get their feet grounded, that's trying to get money for their family, take care of their family, themselves, maybe their children, maybe they're retiree, sees that comment and may think the comment is correct. They may not live in Chicago. They may live in Tucson, and they say, "Oh, there's no money in Chicago." Well, maybe there's no money in Tucson. There's no money in Chicago. Maybe there's no money in Alaska. There's no money in Chicago. Maybe there's no money in the Cayman Islands. Well, there is money in Cayman Islands. So this is not good. If you post a live chat, there's nothing, nowhere, nothing, no checks, not being paid, you're thrown off the channel. It's as simple as that. You're thrown off the channel. I don't care if you're a member, you're terminated from the channel. You're not allowed back in. It's really bad because what happens when you do that is you negatively impact not one person, but anyone that sees the comment. Anyone that sees a comment, suddenly they don't get money. You're hurting other people. You're hurting other people. You absolutely have no idea what you're saying also. I can say this with a big smile on my face because trust me, I can say it with fire coming out of my nostrils. You absolutely don't know what you're talking about. Potentially what the persons are saying when they say that is that their state didn't send them a state stimulus check. My state didn't send me a state stimulus check. Great, that's not what I'm talking about on this channel. Chicago did not send Chicago residents a $600 Chicago stimulus check. Well, that's not what I'm talking about on this channel. And when you post that nonsense, you really hurt other people. So trust me, a big warning, do not post in the live chats anywhere on this channel. There is no money. Do not post. There's no checks. There is no punny. They're not sending it out. It's not there. It's not here because it's not true. It's not true. When you look at the magnitude of check A all the way to check C, there's a lot of checks. And there always is going to be a check for you where you are. If you remember, you go into that membership newsletter, you go down those check C's, 6 government agencies, 6 plus nonprofits, 5, 8 different bills you got to pay. There's a lot of checks for you. And 12 months a year, well, that's just 1 year because viewers are getting over a year and a half of checks. There's a lot of checks. And you may want particularly one check. That's a different narrative. But to say that there's nothing, don't do it. You're gone. In tonight's Evenings LA broadcast, we're going to go over more about this earnings recession because that earnings recession is very troubling. When corporate earnings continue to fall flat, like Twitter and Snap today, like Walmart and Target weeks earlier, what happens? Businesses lay off. They cut costs. Doesn't matter if it's a Fortune 500 company, they'll lay you off. Hiring freeze? Yes. Corporate layoffs? Yes. And what happens? Americans will not have savings saved up. If they can't find another job, we saw in that report today, they don't often even have 2 to 3 months of savings saved up. Meaning, if they can't find that job in the next few days, they're relying upon the unemployment stimulus. The unemployment stimulus may not be enough money anymore because guess what? PUA, FPUC, and all that incredible money that you got on top of unemployment stimulus is gone. You could start to see unemployment stimulus checks of $100, $85, $90 a week. That ain't going to pay your bill. They're going to be here getting money. You don't wait for that stimulus stampede. You get the money today. I care deeply about you. I care all about you. You post your success stories on the live chat. You inspire other people to get money. You keep it positive. You help people and you inspire people. You do not hurt other people because you have a negative mindset. If you have a negative mindset, you don't belong here. There's a lot of things to be negative in a given day. The surf is bad. My bikini does not look as good on me as it should. My hair is not whispering in the wind as good as it should. I have a band around my ankle, and it looks like something for police maintenance of my body. And my surfboard does not match my bikini. There's a lot of things to be negative about. But don't bring it here, because you won't be along much longer. Become a member, go out of this video, get those incredible checks. This is a channel that's winning. You're going to win as well. Love you to death, and stay with me, because Evenings LALATE is coming up next if you're watching the show at 3 o'clock. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, become a member, and God bless you all. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.